Thank you guys so much for being here. I already see several people in the room, and that makes me super happy. And I'm so excited to talk about this episode because it's the episode before the finale. I did a theory video last night, so if you haven't seen that, please check that out after we're done here. But if you have seen that, I'm curious to see your thoughts about my video. And what's I guess funny and then sad to me is how many people have commented on my video, and it's not you guys, but it's like, one, they feel like if I'm in any way wrong with the theory and if the finale is not like what I've been predicting, that like I'm a terrible person or something, or they can't wait. Someone said, I can't wait to come back and rub it in your face when you're wrong. And it's just like, oh, I'm so sad that we live in this world where people think they can say anything to you just because you're on the internet and you can hide behind a screen. It's like so ridiculous. I blocked that person, so whatever. But it's just like, you know what? I'm just a person doing theory videos. I'm not a professional entertainment person. I don't have the secrets to the show. And I've been right about a lot of things. So it's like, you don't have to watch the video if you don't like my theory. So it's just like ridiculous, some of the comments I've been getting. And quite a few today, because the theory video that I had last night apparently made a lot of people mad. So I'm not going to fight with those people. I'm not going to waste my time. So just a heads up, if you're watching this now and you want to leave hate comments on my videos, or you want to try to start a fight, I have someone who tried to fight with every single person who made a comment today. I don't have time for that. No one has time for that. Like, I want to be peaceful in my life. So I'm just going to block anyone who does that. So you're like totally wasting your time. And I know that people who are here in the room are not the ones doing it, because you guys who come to these chats and actually comment are nice. And even if you're not commenting, I'm sure you're nice. So I just want to throw that out there because I just looked at my comments and I had like 6 crazed people commenting. But anyway, I do this for fun, and this should be a fun experience. And like when we have stuff, if you're from America, with the election going on, and this left a lot of people either really happy or really upset, I feel like YouTube is a great escape for things like that. And I actually started getting into YouTube because my life had like a big change in it, and I wanted to find something to not think about what was going on and to have peace and happiness. And YouTube was an escape for me. And I hope for some of you guys that you come here and you watch these videos because it's a happy place and a positive place. So that's what I want my channel to be. So I'm going to move on and talk about the actual show, but I'm just throwing that out there just in case whoever's watching this taped or live is planning on going crazy in the next couple of days, or is going to be angry if my theory doesn't match up with the finale. I'm not Ryan Murphy. I'm not in his brain. And if he does completely shock me, then that's awesome. I don't want to figure out every single show, because then the show is not that great if I can figure all of it out, I mean, I would think that about any show. But thank you guys so much for being here and so much for your support and positivity, because that means the world to me, because for every negative comment, there's 10 positive, nice, or, you can disagree with everything I say, but it's all in how it's said. You know what I mean? Like, I love when people have different theories, or they're like, I don't agree with this, or you miss this, or whatever. That's totally fine. But to be like, I hate you because you're wrong, it's like, what is your life? So I do have some questions about the theory video I made and what's going to happen in the finale. But the more I think about it, so much stuff is lined up with, I just feel like there has to be a lot of fake elements of this show. There's some more stuff I thought about that I didn't mention last night, that I didn't mention in my theory video, that I want to talk to you guys about, because I wasn't sure. Well, I did mention in my theory video the Uber driver. I was like, is that the same Uber driver from the Roanoke Nightmare documentary? And apparently from a lot of you who rewatched it, it's the same guy. And I think that's the biggest clue to me, because not only is it the same guy, and I don't care where you live in this world, the chances of you getting the exact same Uber driver every single time, or 2 times in a row, or whatever, just doesn't make sense. But the other thing that doesn't make sense about that is someone was filming inside of that car. It didn't look like a dash cam or something. We've all seen that on YouTube. So who was filming that? If it was, real or, it has to be fake, because there was someone in there filming this interaction. It's not real. Come on. It's just, none of that makes sense. So anyway, it could turn out that they end up with a lot of inconsistencies in the show, and they want it all to be real. If they do, I'm going to be a little bit disappointed, not because it was my theory, but because there's so many elements of what they've shown us in the past 3 weeks with those 3 episodes that really don't add up for it to be real. Number one, if they are actually showing, if this was shown as a TV show, whatever you guys say, it was edited professionally for use as either a TV show or a movie or something. I don't buy anywhere them showing not live deaths, but deaths on TV or in a movie format or a documentary. I don't buy that. So why would someone professionally edit this to show people deaths, actual deaths? Who is going to put that on TV or release that as a movie? You know, that's another thing. And I've got more comments, but I'm going to get to your comments. Ralph says, watching again, Wes Bentley's character had a necklace came like Cuba's character, and Matt Boomer was the Uber driver. So, again, and I'm not sure because I'm getting different comments here. Yeah, I'm heard that Matt was not the Uber driver. I'm hearing it's the same person from the episode a couple of weeks ago. So I don't know. Lewis, you might want to go watch my theory video because I know most people have seen the episode, but my theory video breaks down the entire episode. Basically, I tell you everything that happens. If you want to jump out and watch that, that would be really helpful for you. But my only thing that I don't really fully understand how they're going to work all this together is the fact that we have Lana doing an interview with Lee, and it looks like Lee was going to court, maybe. So I'm trying to figure out how that works with it being fake, or if they're going to try to make it all real, or if it's real and fake. There's so many things that don't add up, like Kiara saying that the Polk House had cameras. I can kind of buy into that was set up for the reality show and it still was real. But to me, there are other bigger clues, but that still doesn't make the most sense. Another thing that I mentioned in my theory video is that Lee has had a lot of stuff done to her. I'm not sure how many parts of her body were cut on, but she had an ear cut off. Her thigh was, chopped into. I think there was something else that was cut into. So she's walking around, she's moving about. And the other person that didn't make a lot of sense was Real Shelby, who had serious, serious injuries, yet was able to kill someone by pounding their head into the ground. And if they're going to go ahead and say in the finale that all of this was actually happening and all of it was real, I'm just going to be a little disappointed because I understand in many ways, this is like a fantasy show, but that just doesn't, if they're going to try to play all of this off as real, I'm sorry, that just doesn't add up. Taissa, of course, has been a big topic of conversation. I really enjoyed her character. I love the fact that they had YouTubers in this episode. I know she was it was a very short appearance for her, but she was never slated to be like one of the main stars of this season. I think if we do get that Coven Murder House combo season, she's going to have a big role in that. I don't know if she's going to have a big role next season, but I don't think we should be too upset or mad at Ryan because he never said like Taissa's a big star this year or whatever. Now Lady Gaga was billed as one of the people who I assumed was going to be big, and we never see her. So maybe you might be more upset about that. But yes, I love Taissa's character. I think it was fine just having her in one episode. I don't think we were misled or anything. So that's my thoughts on her. I just have gotten some comments where people were upset. That doesn't mean you have to be upset, but I've gotten some where they're like, I was hoping she was going to be a big star in this episode or in this season, or, and who's to say she's not coming back for the finale? I still envision, if all of this is fake, that we see everyone who was a part of this because they're all actors. So even if it's I guess if it's real, we're not going to see them because they're dead, but we'll see. I have a feeling we could see Evan again and maybe even Gaga. I don't know. Oh, thank you. Thanks, Rick. So email. I don't know if you want me to call you something else, but email says the fact that Lana also went through and survived something very traumatic. I think you might have commented this on my video today. And I've seen a lot of comments like this where somebody is thinking Lana will kill Lee, or something happens to Lee, or Lee kills herself. If in fact it's real and she actually killed her husband. I'm having trouble piecing this together. If all of this is real and she committed murder, she confessed to it, someone obviously got that video, then she also killed the other Lee, Monet. Why wouldn't she be in jail unless this video came out after she was doing like the Lana interview, or does Lana discover it? I don't know. So is there a part of me who could see them trying to make all of this real? Absolutely. But am I going to have a problem with that? Yeah, because look at all of the glaring clues that make it look fake. And there's just so many instances with camera angles where I don't care what anyone says, there's no way that they planted all kinds of cameras and all these different, I mean, there's close-up shots, which I cannot buy in some scenes. I'm not going to buy that that was a stationary camera in the woods or hooked to, you know, the house or whatever. Yes, I knew Finn was in the show. I'm sorry, Ferkin, I got your tweet. Actually, I thought most of us knew that from when he was at the Polk house, because he was the one, you know, tormenting Lee. I'm sorry, I didn't get a chance to respond to you, but I think I favorited that. Yes. Tatiana says, do I think Lee killing her husband the way the colonists do is how she got to be the next butcher? Well, that's another thing that doesn't really add up to me, because she seemed to just be the butcher for one night. I don't know what the deal was. If that all is supposed to be real, maybe. I don't know. Kiara's asking about cameras being in the trees. Yet someone told me that Sydney made the statement that there were cameras posted out in the woods. I don't remember that. I'm sorry, I don't remember absolutely everything. I do my best to pay attention and get everything. Roa, I don't have the screenshot. I don't know if it was you who said you sent me on Instagram and Twitter, but I don't have any DM requests or anything, so I'm still waiting to get the screenshot. Someone posted on my video today that they sent me twice in DMs the screenshot, but I don't have them. Alexandra says, if they say it was real, you call that poor writing and sloppiness. But now I know several of you think it is real, which is fine. I mean, oh my gosh, we all are entitled to our own opinions. But I'm curious if that's you and you're in this chat to let me know my answers to my questions. The things that I'm throwing out here, please let me know the other side of that. How can you make me believe that that is actually real? So Ralph says Lee eating the heart made her possessed by the butcher. Right. What I think the other person was asking is, why did the witch person approach Lee? Why was she of interest to them? So Mr. XX Unknown says, everything we've seen so far, the book Lana Winters has written is a book adapted for TV. I could still buy into that, and I could say that that's a book of fiction. I could also buy into what some people have commented, that absolutely all of it is fake. So from the beginning, so like Mason never died, and none of that story about Roanoke was true. It was all made up. So I don't know. Of course, we've never gotten the theme song. Some people care, some people don't. I think that's really weird, and I think that means something. Hi, Jay. Thank you for being here. Amir says Lee could possibly have been possessed after all. She could have not been possessed. She could simply have been taking advantage of the situation. Yeah, I would say that that could be true if this is real. But with her like eating a heart and everything, I don't know. Like, if I'm going to pretend, I'm not going to go that far unless that wasn't really a heart. So I don't know. Okay, that makes sense what Ralph is saying, that Lee had murder in her heart from killing Mason. Yeah. Ryuk says they need to make a show featuring the Uber driver, all the things he saw, my Uber nightmare. That's really funny. I like that. So why didn't Mason kill Lee? I don't know. Again, I don't even know if that's true. Monster says, I think it's real because I feel they're going in depth with Lee's story, especially with the court and an interview. So yeah, I mean, again, there's a lot of plot holes for me, and it's going to make me, depending on how they do it, it's going to make me not like this season as much. And again, it has nothing to do with me wanting to be right or anything like that. There's just way too much evidence that does not support it being real, unless they're going to come back with some of it was staged, some people didn't actually die, and some of it was real. That might help me, but I don't know. How did she get Mason in the tree? Did she do it, or did somebody else do it, like the colonist or something? I thought Lee had a really good chance of being the survivor. The only other person I thought might survive at this point, before last night's episode, was Sarah Paulson's character, because she usually lives. In a sense, she's still going to be in the finale, Sarah Paulson, but just as a different character. So yes, I wasn't really that surprised. Do I think Lee moves into Murder House? Well, I think if they were going to do the crossover season next season, that would be a really great way to end it. But I've heard multiple times that it's not going to be next season unless they already have something else planned with Murder House, which would be weird. Hopefully I will be back soon, or maybe you can hear me. Ryan is mad at me. Okay, looks like I'm coming back very soon. All right, I'm back. Okay, if I missed some of your comments, please re-comment, because I don't know. Maybe we're getting close to figuring this out. I can't wait for the Murder House Coven crossover season because those were my absolute favorite seasons. So I'm very, very excited. Anyway, I apologize for going out again. I don't know who Tori Wilson is. Is she a YouTuber? I don't know her. But we're not related because I don't know her. But anyway, I mean, regardless of what happens, I have really enjoyed the season. I'm hoping the finale doesn't suck completely and doesn't leave us all like, what, or doesn't make any sense. And if it's all going to be real, I will try to roll with that, but I want to see how they present it. But I have really high hopes that it's going to be good. I've had a lot of people ask this question that Kiara is asking on my video today. Why does Lana look younger than when we saw her last at the end of Asylum? I don't know. Now, I don't know if that's just a mistake. They didn't use enough makeup, didn't use enough effects, if they don't even realize it, which I would find to be weird, or if there's something else going on here that we haven't figured out. And Tommy thinks they can link Murder House and Coven because of Madison Montgomery, because the man who built Murder House was Mr. Montgomery. Oh, okay. I never even thought about that. That's really interesting. Oh, WWE Diva. No, I don't know her. I know like the Bella twins or whatever. I've seen them. That's funny though. So I don't have any famous people in my family. Hi, Alexander. Thank you for being here. When will the next season start? Usually it starts in October. I think this one started in September. So we're probably looking at another year. Maybe Lana's had, I don't know how she would have great anti-aging cream that would actually turn the clock back, but hey, I don't know. But I like your username, Billy Lord. Monster says, Thais' death made you want to cry because she was crying and you felt so bad for her. Well, I love her as well. That death scene, of course, was super brutal, but when I watched the episode last night, I look at it all as a bunch of fake stuff, so it doesn't bother me as much. So I don't know. Will I be sad if it all turns out to be real, and will I be sad about the people who died? No, because I feel like there's been so much comedy in this season. Even with the guy, like with the pig mask, when Wes had the pig mask on in the back of the Uber, that was just so funny. They've really done well to put a lot of comedy into this, and I think it's done in a really great way. Yeah, she does look blonde in the promo, as Melody is saying, but I think that's okay. People have different hairstyles and different hair colors. Owen says, love this season. It's what American Horror Story should be about. What you really think that Hotel wasn't scary at all, and that's why you love this season. Hotel was a season I definitely couldn't get into, but I know that a lot of people loved it, so cool. I mean, that's awesome if you loved it. I love this season, and I just don't understand people who are angry, like at Ryan or whatever, or angry at me or whatever, because they don't like this season. I'm like, okay, everyone has different opinions. I mean, there's some shows that people love that are super popular that I don't like and I don't watch. So, we all like different things. Sometimes we all like the same things. So a lot of us like this show, so whatever. Rosa says the pig guy in the back of the Uber, you couldn't stop laughing. You felt so bad, but it was really funny. It was a really funny moment. I just think it's hilarious. I loved it. See, Leland says Hotel is his fave season because it was deliciously fabulous and bloody. I like how you said that. Kiara thinks Ryan is the devil. Why do you think he's the devil? I will say that some of the other shows that I watched that he's done, the series finales have absolutely sucked. Like Glee started sucking. Nip Tuck had a terrible finale. So when they decide to actually end this show, I'm a bit worried because he doesn't have a great track record for finding a way to wrap everything up. Now, it might be easier for him on this because every storyline is different, but yet they're still connected. So I hope he doesn't screw it up for all of us because he hasn't done well with that before. Apparently, a lot of the promos some of them were to trick us because we haven't seen everything that that we saw in the promos. Roa asked if I think Roanoke is before Murder House or after. Okay, well, that's something else that I've been wondering about. And I've more been wondering about Asylum and when we last saw Lana. And I think we last saw her in like 2012. So now I'm wondering, but it very much seems like things are very up to date and modern in Roanoke. So, but with people questioning why she looks younger, is it possible that we're watching video from before 2012? That's also something I've been thinking about, but it does seem like people have newer looking iPhones and stuff like that. So it makes me think that we're in modern times. I don't know if they ever put like an actual year for Roanoke, but even if it's a couple years old, that still kind of fits in with what they're wearing and the technology. But I don't know. Pokemon Champion wonders how the police interviews with the YouTubers got onto the reality show. Now, see, that's another such a great point. I hadn't even thought about that. Who was filming the interactions with the police? Now, I know one of those YouTube guys was filming the cop. That's fine. I get that. But we had other angles. We had wide shots and things like that. And I think some people get really confused when they're talking about camera angles because maybe you don't have any experience with that, and that's not like trying to be rude. I actually used to work in television news, so I have a pretty good grasp on how shots look and where they have to be coming from, and that's, I think, why it bothers me more than some people, because I know no matter what they say, if they say all of this was real, that's never going to add up for me. There were several instances where there had to be another person there with a camera. It couldn't just be some camera on the outside of a, house or something. So that really bothers me. And it always bothers me in shows or movies when there's inconsistencies or things don't add up, or there's like, if it's supposed to be in the 70s, but I see something that's from the 90s or something, which happens a lot. So it just bugs me because we spend a lot of time trying to figure this out. So that will bother me if they come out with the finale and everything's real. The other thing to hold on to if you think it's fake is that Ryan has promised a big twist in episode 10. Now, if everything has been like we think it is, if everything is surface level and everything actually happened, what do we have to wait for in the finale? They've already given us our survivor, which you would think would have been saved for the finale. But we've closed out that Roanoke show, just like we closed out the other Roanoke show in episode 5. So I think that the finale will be totally different. And I think the twist will be that everything was fake, because otherwise, what new information do they have to give us? All I could say on the other side of that, looking at both sides, is that if Lee gets gone, goes to prison for the people she killed or whatever, but that's not a shock, guys. We know she killed people. I just don't feel like that's very shocking. It could happen. Again, not the end of the world, but there's inconsistencies if they say absolutely everything we saw in the last 3 episodes was supposed to be taken as real. So when I ask those questions, I hope that some people will come back with a rebuttal that can help me see how it could be real. Seriously, I'm not trying to argue, I just want to know. Roa asked if I think there's a second survivor. From what we have seen, no. I would say no, but who knows? And this is also a good point that Giselle is making, that, these episodes have been much shorter than previous seasons this year. And I think the reason they have been, and someone actually commented this on one of my videos a couple weeks ago, is because they're in the format to be the length of a reality TV show program. Because again, I think we're watching a reality TV show program. I still, for the life of me, can never understand why someone would professionally edit a series with people actually dying, knowing that they could never, ever have that air on any type of show, cable, regular TV, movie. No one would ever be producing that. So the fact that it was professionally edited in a way that it could be shown as a movie or a TV series, why would someone waste their time on that, knowing that actual people died in a gruesome way? If they're going to say that that is for real and that it's going to be released as a show or whatever, then I call crap on that, because there is no way in this current society that would be allowed. Did the police find Matt's body? We didn't see much, Kiara, of what the police found. We didn't see them go in and find all their various bodies. I can only assume that they did. Also, the bleeping out of the F word has caused a lot of confusion. I've gotten a lot of comments of like, well, FX is not allowed to have that word used. And I completely understand that. But if we're watching a show that is on a show, then of course it was edited out for that show, if you understand what I mean. Because there's an excessive use of the F word in this show, more than we ever have seen, I think, in American Horror Story, because it's a separate show where people are supposed to be talking as they would in their real life, but it was bleeped out for the use of to be shown on TV, because either it's been shown on TV in this other universe or it was being prepared to be shown on TV. Okay. Again, there's so many issues I have with it all being real. And if you go back and look, you can find more things. The more I talk to people, I hear more things like this instance of the police interviews having a wide shot from freaking where? You're going to tell me that Sydney knew that somebody would be going to the police, so they planted cameras there too? Because the police didn't seem to want anything like that. I can't even see them going along with it if they were actual police and not acting. Okay, so Thomas from Belgium watched until like episode 4, but thought it was boring and it looked way too much like Murder House. You definitely need to give it more of a chance and go back, because the twist was episode 6, which was phenomenal. And honestly, I thought it was a little bit slow up to episode 6. So I would go back because it's phenomenal after that. Giselle says, I doubt in real life we would ever watch real people dying. Absolutely no way. So if they're going to pass this off and try to say that this was edited for a TV show that hasn't aired, or it did air, that is some crap right there, because everyone died and we saw them die, and we saw them die, some of them in terrible ways. What channel is that going to be on? I mean, unless the only way they could sell that is if we were 20 years in the future or something, and they could say, you know, things have changed and people watch that kind of stuff on TV. This isn't Westworld. If it was, I would be like, you know, who knows what they're going to do, because that's a futuristic setting. They can blur the lines. It's a science fiction show. So I don't know. Yes, Thomas, I'm so excited about the Coven and Murder House crossover. Very excited. Okay, so Mako hasn't seen Asylum. It would be very hard for me to explain everything that happened, but yeah, I don't know. We'd spend a lot of time on that. I'm sorry. You might want to Google it to figure out who Lana is. That might help you get a grasp of it for the finale. Do I think Lady Gaga will be as herself as Lucky? I really hope so. I'm really hoping to see a return of all of the people we've seen in the show so far. I know she was busy as her real life self, probably while they filmed this, but maybe she was able to come back and film the finale. I did really like Asylum as well, but for me, it wasn't my favorite when I compare it to Coven and Murder House. Monster's asking, could it be a show called could it be like the show Making a Murderer, like Netflix? Maybe, maybe not, though. I mean, it's kind of a different format, because if you watch that series, you saw a lot of sit-down interviews and things like that we're not really getting from this. This is more like a reality show. Ralph says the only time they show death on TV is the news, but it would be blurred. So, and actually, they're not supposed to ever show live deaths, like someone actually murdering someone on the news, technically, even blurred. So you're really not supposed to show a body or anything either, but some people may, you know, blur the lines on that as well. Now, Lana's role could go a lot of different ways. Annie is asking if Lana wrote the script of the show. I love that idea. That's not my idea. I've seen a couple people, maybe it was you. I think it was you who commented that. Love that. Love that all of it was fake and she wrote it. And I love that. But with her interviewing Lee, I'm not really sure what that would mean. There's some pieces that I really haven't put together to completely understand Lana's role with Lee. So I'm waiting to see how they do that. Do I think Madison will be in the crossover? Yes. Crossover season? Yes, I think so. Absolutely. Honest opinions, thank you so much for being here. But anyway, you know, this has been such a fun season for me. And regardless of what happens in the finale, I've had the best time. It's one of my favorite seasons of any show that I've done on YouTube. Out of any show, because they have really made it fun, I think, for those of us who enjoy theorizing and trying to figure out what they're doing, because it's been a challenge and I love every second of that. And if it doesn't turn out to be fake, or if it's completely something different that we're not expecting, I'm really curious and excited to see what everything is, and I can't believe we find that out next week. Well, thanks, Chris. I really appreciate it. But I've had a great time, and it's just like I'm so also interested about next season and hoping it can live up to this and live up to the theorizing potential that we've had this season, because now I just have such high hopes for it, you know. I have no idea what season 7 is going to bring, but like I said, I just hope it's really good. I know several of you have asked about comments you made earlier. These comments, they just scroll and go by fast. So if I miss something, please comment again, because I'm not ignoring anyone. It's just very, very hard for me to see your comments if I'm in the middle of talking and it's 20 comments up. Owen, can't wait to see my theory and review videos after you watch. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I try to do my very best. sometimes I do maybe miss something, or sometimes my theories don't come true, but I'm just a human like you guys. And I mean, if I could predict every single show, then the shows probably suck, because if the fans know what's going on in every single series, then those aren't very good series because they're too easy to figure out. I think we should be surprised. And that's kind of what I was getting at. Like, I want to be shocked. I want Ryan to come out with something that we've not even talked about, because then I would be like, oh my God. Like, how many times, I mean, have you guys ever watched something and you expect something, or you think the finale is going to be this way, and they throw something crazy out there? That is the ultimate rush for me. Not for Ryan to put together a show that I've been talking about on my channel for 3 weeks. It's like, hey, it's cool that I figured it out, but like, I want to be surprised, you know? So that's what I feel about that. Faces of Death. I've heard of it, definitely. Sure. Yes, Robert. It was a show that aired on TV, a mix of real on-screen deaths and reenactments. Yeah, but was that on actual TV? Like, that's kind of like a urban legend, I guess. Can we still access that somewhere? I've definitely heard of that. And I'm not so sure. Was it real? I need to research that. So Ralph says Lana is late 50s, early 60s. Her season 2 flashback is 2012, and Roanoke is 2015-16. So yeah, I think that's what's going on with a lot of the comments about Lana. I have people telling me she's 90 or, 80. Guys, she's not. I mean, there's people who are like, she should be dead. So I wasn't exactly sure how old she was in 2012, but with her being late 50s, early 60s in 2012, we're not that far from 2012. So she's not 100. So for those of you guys who are saying, like, I don't know how she's alive and that's an inconsistency, I do not think that's an inconsistency. I do not have any problem with Lana coming back, and I don't feel like that's some kind of issue on the show's part. My favorite character this season, okay, or I love Evan Peters, number one, and I love Taissa. So they've really not been players this season, so can't really count them in. But I also really love Sarah Paulson. I think she's amazing. So I don't really like her as Audrey, because I feel like her acting is really bad, to be honest. And I think that is part of the fact that it's a fake show, because I think she's an amazing actress, and I think she's quite butchering this role. No, she wouldn't be over 70. Like, if she was late 50s, she could be, it's just been a few years since 2012, still in her 60s. JMG says, considering that 3 Days in Hell only had one survivor and the finale will take place after, could someone be brought back to life? I don't think Matt could be brought back to life. Now, that would be really ridiculous to me. His head was bashed into a million pieces. So if they're going to say it was real and then he survived, then I'm going to laugh at them, because that's some terrible crap right there. Let's see. Sorry, guys. There's so many comments. Thank you guys so much. Matt Bomer, is it Bomber or Bomer? I don't know how you say that. I don't know. Is he the real Sydney? I mean, I think the Sydney, it was real. I don't know. Maybe he was an actor too. I don't know. I don't really think they're going to unveil a whole other set of people and be like, here are the real people. Because at that point in the finale, it's just kind of ridiculous. I don't know. So Ralph says season 2 was 64 and Lana was probably early to mid 20s. Right. That makes sense. Life of Anthony really thinks that Lana Winters is going to interview the cast in the last episode. That's definitely what I think. So Nat says, what if the show was fake to get Lee to confess? The problem I have with that is, if she was the only one who didn't know it was fake, there's a lot of problems with that, because they were eating her leg, cutting off her ear. I cannot believe that they actually tortured this woman and everyone else was an actor. What kind of actors would do that anyway, if that's what you're saying? I do live in Kentucky, yes. My Instagram, I recently changed it. It's called A Girl on a Plane. So I don't know how long I'll keep that name. Sometimes I just get bored and change my names. But it's private, but just send me a request. It's fine. I was getting a lot of like really strange DMs and weird comments on my photos from whoever, probably robots, I don't know. But I just decided to make it private because I was just like, tired of monitoring like the comments and stuff every day. So Archie says, as there were paparazzi taking photos of Lee in the preview, it suggests it's real. Right, possibly, unless that's another part of the reality show. The finale could also be the last episode or an extra thing or reunion to the reality show too. Again, I could see them going there and saying everything was real. I'm going to have a big problem with it. I'm hoping if they say it's real, they explain some stuff, say some of it was real, some of it was fake, or they've got a better explanation than I can think of right now, because I don't know. Owen makes a really good comment, but I'll give you another side of that. Owen saw that Lee has both ears in the promo. Now, she could have gotten an ear transplant, or they could say her ear was salvaged and attached, but that's good. That was a good catch. JMG says the whole show being fake to get Lee to confess could be real because Black Mirror did an episode about that. I haven't watched Black Mirror. That is on my list of things to watch. But Black Mirror, I take it, is not a reality show. It's actually like a fiction show, right? So it's just not, when we're talking, I don't know. I would only compare it to like a real show and say, I have trouble with that. So you're saying Lee is the only person who didn't know it was fake. So they actually tortured her, cut into her skin, cut her ear off. Then she actually ate a heart. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I really want to see Black Mirror. I've heard so many good things, but I'm just like overwhelmed with all the different shows I'm doing right now. Plus I've added Westworld, which I hope to start those videos next week. So I can't get on that right now, but maybe like around Christmas I can. Right, so I do remember hearing about Faces of Death, but I'm confused about that. Like, I'm gonna Google it because it's like, it bothers me if those videos were real deaths, like really, or are they just playing us? And we thought, I don't know. And why do people want to watch that? That's disturbing. I don't know. I love horror, but like, I don't know if I really want to watch real deaths. Agnes commented on wanting to be on TV. Dominic wanted a spinoff. The hikers wanted to go viral. Supports it being fake. Mr. XX agree with you. Okay, Ralph has the comment that could make the ear be alive still. Lee's ear was put in a jar because they were going to pickle it, remember? So maybe it was salvaged and reattached. That's a stretch to me, but hey. Lucy had a great theory, but I must have lost it because it just scrolled by. If you are Lucy and you posted a theory, please post again because it's gone. And I know several of you who tweeted me shows that look great, and I do want to watch them. It's a time issue, so it's not that I don't want to do that. I just right now have no time to add any shows. Of course, a lot of these things are ending. How to Get Away with Murder, and this show ends next week. So after Thanksgiving, the American Thanksgiving holiday, I may have time before Christmas to try some new things. I don't really know what 9 Levels of Hell is, Lucy, but I'm sorry, so I can't answer that question. Do you think we'll finally see the opening theme song? Asked William. No, I don't, because I think that's part of their plan for this season. I don't really know why, but I think it'll maybe come back next year. I don't know. So Nat says that the blood moon was real. Why the hell did Matt, Shelby, and Lee go back? They said they wanted it to do it for what? The fame and the money, basically, right? But that's so stupid. I mean, at the time I was like, are you that stupid? Because they basically could have died the first time around if that really happened, but then they're going to go back in it for what? Like, they could lose their life, which they did because they wanted to be reality show famous. I have missed Lucy's theory. Please post that again. I can't find where that is because there's so many comments, which is amazing. Thank you guys so much. I try to scroll up and I just still don't see it. So if you could post that again, I would appreciate it. Thomas says a character from Murder House created the story from Roanoke before explaining the 2 nurses and the pig. Okay, maybe they're going to try to connect it to that. That would be interesting. Black Mirror is the UK Twilight Zone. Okay, and it's, I'm sure, fiction, but I want to see that. Twilight Zone, gosh, as a kid, I feel like I watched that like in the 90s or something. I don't know. No, Robert, I don't think you're weird at all. I'm having trouble wondering how they would release that kind of live death. You know what I mean? How is that legal? I mean, or is it like one of those things where everyone thought it was real, but when we Google it now, we're like, oh, that's not real. I don't know. I'm going to Google it when we're done here. I mean, I don't know. So Archie says, I think the show did air on TV, as in the promo it says Lee, who is an influential woman or something like that. So it should have aired. I mean, or they're saying that it aired, that people saw her in the first season, right? I don't know. It's just a lot. Like, I don't know. I can't wait to see how this ends. I just wanted to mention a couple things to you quickly. If you haven't subscribed and you're watching this, I would really appreciate that. If you would give me a thumbs up, I'd also appreciate that. Yes, Blood Moon is over. Next week is going to be kind of tricky because I'm going to be in New York. So I'm going to do my best to be doing everything as normal. The only thing I can't do is a live chat, just a heads up now, because in the middle of the day, I'm not going to have time to do that. But I do plan on still having my videos, and I am still planning on being live with reaction, depending on the hotel's Wi-Fi. So I did not know that this was going to be at the same time of the finale, so I apologize. But I am very much trying to do things as normal next week, except there will be no live or not one of these reaction shows, but everything else should be the same because it's very important to me because it's the finale and I can't just not be there for you guys for that. So if anything changes, I will tweet that out. So please either follow me on Twitter or bookmark it or something. That's really the only way I have to communicate to you guys when my video is not on or when I'm not live. So I would suggest you look at it or follow me or add me to your mobile notifications or something so that you're not shocked if something's like, if you're like, what the heck, where is she? Then I'll be definitely be saying on there what's going on. Cairo says Sydney was real. I kind of thought he was real. I kind of thought he was. I don't know. Well, thanks, Chris. I really appreciate that. We're going to have to wrap this up pretty soon, even though I'm loving it. But just to remember, just to remind you guys, I try to reply to every single person who comments. Sometimes those comments are in spam for some reason. I don't know why, because sometimes it's people who comment often, and I know you guys, and you end up in spam. So I'm trying to check there as well. But if you don't notice me commenting, you can always try on Twitter because I definitely see everything on Twitter. But I want to be interactive and comment to everyone, so please don't be upset if I didn't comment back to you. There's probably something going on. Some people do have settings where I can't reply, so check those if I'm not replying to you. But anyway, the hikers, I think, were fake. I think they were actors as well. It's just they kept asking over and over, like, was this real? Was this real? Thank you, Giselle, for being here. I hope you have a great rest of your week. I don't know how to do a Twitter group chat, but I know a couple people have mentioned that before, but that sounds like fun. So we maybe should do that at some point. Do I think Lee is possessed during the interview? No, because I think that none of that was true, but she looked like everything was okay with her in the promo, Ralph says the last night's episode was rushed and sloppy. They tried to fit 2 episodes in one, as it seemed like. And I think their reasoning behind that is they wanted to do the 3 days in hell, 3 nights in hell, whatever, in 3 episodes of American Horror Story, which is what they accomplished. Just like they had to rush the Roanoke documentary. They actually gave it more time. They probably should have shortened that for the first half of this season. So that's what I think. And again, they've never showed us who was the other witch and the witch that was dealing with Lee in this episode. We don't even know who's that character. I don't assume that it is Lady Gaga. Angela being alive, I don't think she is. Maybe there's a small chance that she did survive that fall. That could be the only person who I think, if it's real, actually made it besides Lee. Oh, you're so welcome, Amir. I mean, it's so fun. And the reason I started my YouTube channel and doing these types of things or these types of videos was because I actually love watching shows and then finding out what people were thinking about them. And I would always go to their Facebook page of the show. And sometimes I could get, good feedback, but no one would ever respond to me. So I was like, I'm going to make YouTube videos because I know other people want to know and talk about these shows because like big things would happen in shows and no one would care. And my real life friends, and I'm like, I'm going to just put it online. And I found people all over the world who like the same thing. So it's so amazing. And I'm very thankful for all of you and so awesome that I see like most of you at all of my different show chats. And I can't even tell you how much that means to me, that people take time out of all the other things that you're doing to come to my shows, to watch my videos. Like seriously, that means everything to me. And it's so fun to have this in my life. And to have you guys in my life. So thank you so much. But what do I think about Lady Gaga as the OG Supreme? I don't know because we barely have seen her this season. And I'm a little bit lost about what they're doing with her, honestly, because she's barely been in this. Okay, so apparently Angela Monet had a stake through her body, so she's gone. I didn't see that because I felt like last night's episode was super dark, and I'm probably going to move to a different setup here pretty soon because it's not really working with the live reaction shows because the TV setup I have is kind of far from me, and I have trouble seeing dark scenes and stuff because my TV isn't close. So I'm trying to be in a different room. So I'm going to work on that over the next couple of weeks. But yeah, I'm sad that it was a shortened season. I hate that. And I haven't heard anything about the finale being extra time, so I don't think it will be. But it would be nice, absolutely. But I'm going to let you guys go. This has been more than fun. I love it, but this doesn't have to end here. This video will be up on my channel in like 5 minutes. You can go make your comments. If I missed your comments, do that. I'll come back and reply, or you can reply to my theory videos or any of my videos. And I can't wait to see you guys next week. That'll be epic in every single way. And hopefully I will see some of you or all of you or many of you at the How to Get Away with Murder live chat tonight at 10 Eastern. I can't wait for that because that's going to be a great episode as well. But thank you guys. Love you guys so much. Appreciate you. Seriously, everything I just said earlier, I mean so much from the bottom of my heart. I hope you have a great rest of your evening, and I'll see many of you very, very soon. Bye, guys.